whole truth is it's just a conversation we have with some of our faves, and the main focus is the stories. It's the stories that we don't know, the stories of the beginning, how you started, how you got mixed up with everybody that you're working with, and just all of that.
Okay. I mean, no doubt. I'm sorry that it took so long for me to get on, man. It's a very, very, very packed day that I have ahead of me. But the story, I don't know where to keep up from, man, really, to be honest. Where do you want me to start from?
How did you pick a pen and paper and start writing rhymes?
Dang, man. Like, I started doing that, like, maybe like my college days. You know, I never really was a writer. I was never really an artist, a creator of music. It was kind of then because of one of my friends, you know, he used to rap. And I don't know, one day he came to my room, my dorm room, and he left. I told him, like, leave this song with me. He had started working on a song with another guy. And these guys eventually became, like, the guys I started rapping with. We formed a group called Lyrically Equipped. And that day he left that beat, I wrote 16 bars to it. In fact, I don't even know it was 16 because I couldn't count bars then. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know why I did that. I don't think I have a reason or why I felt like I wanted to write to this track. But ever since that day, I mean, I've been writing lines. That's just it, you know? So, I mean, that's where it started. But I've been an appreciator of music for a long time, since I was born. You know, my parents always had music around me, so that was easy.
Was this in Niger school or an abroad school?
What'd you say?
Was it in Niger school or an abroad school?
It has to be abroad now.
I went to North Carolina. Yankee.
So when did you decide to come to Niger and start serious?
What'd you say?
When did you decide to transition to Niger?
That's about maybe 2010, 2011. I'd come home, and I was still rapping, but not in a very. I was rapping because I could. I was rapping because I had the ability and I had this taste and love for it. Do you know what I mean? I had no real desire to be an actual artist putting out music in Nigeria per se. But then I got mixed up with some rappers that everybody knows that story. You know, I linked up with SDC, and through them I started putting out music in Nigeria, but not really even as an artist, just because, you know, I was good. I started to realize that I was good at this shit, you know, and then from there, I saw that there's a gap. The way I rap, the way I put music together, there's nobody like me. There's nobody like me out here doing it like this or making music like this, that I could really do something here in this space. And maybe I would say around like Feel Alright at Dollhouse when I was like, you know, maybe I can be an artist. You know what I'm saying?
I know you moved back from, I had a conversation one time with you, I think in 2018, and how you talked about how you moved back to Niger. And I know like my first introduction to Ladipoe was like seeing you in cameos and in collaborations with SDC. I'd like to know like how did you link up with them, like moving from the US to like meeting them in Nigeria?
You know, I think at this point everybody kind of knows the story, but like I met Tech at a Chicken Republic in Ikeja, in GRA. His mother and my mother knew each other. They were not like, they met each other in a course they were taking in Lagos Business School. And, you know, they found out that they both had sons that made music and rapped. And so they decided to introduce their sons. And, you know, both their sons were reluctant to do this because both thought the other person was whack. But we met each other at this Chicken Republic. I played him some music. He played me some music, and we knew that we were aligned. You know what I'm saying? He invited
you were
me
both lyrically equipped.
What'd you say?
You knew that you were both lyrically equipped, like the name of your group.
I mean, I knew that they were rapping on a level that, you know, like they were rapping on a very dope level. I knew that. You know what I'm saying? I could tell. They played. You know the song that Tech played for me. He played me Dreamer featuring MI.
Ah,
But I
You know
know
what I'm
that
saying?
song. I know the video too.
Sold already.
Yeah,
Sold.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like for him to play that, I feel like he played that because I played him some stuff that we were doing. You know, in school, me and my guys, we formed a group like, you know, Lyrically Equipped. And then we had an album called Hip Hop Anonymous. And when I say album, bro, it's not like we released this album. Or we just had some stuff. We called the album Hip Hop Anonymous. So I played that for him. And I feel like because he's like, okay, this guy is actually dope, I'm not going to play him some anyhow
Anything.
stuff. I'm going to play him
Yeah.
the track that we have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For real. So they hit me with Dreamer straight away to let me know that, yo, bro, us two were mad.
We're not playing
You know,
here.
like,
Not be playing. We
yeah.
can't play with you.
Yeah.
I swear. I swear. But like, you know, from there, they invited me to Red Room Studio. And that's important. That's important because that's where I met Ghost. I met Larry Dojos, who's also my cousin. That's also the larger part of SDC. I met Icon, who I
Shout
still
out
work
Icon
with.
at Red Room
Icon.
Studios.
You know what I'm saying? I think I met Lynx that same day as well. So like, these were very important like relationships that I still have to date. You know what I'm saying?
So at that point, you weren't thinking of making music professionally. You were just rapping because you could. So
Nah, I was just rapping.
Were you trying to work? Did you want to get a job or something, or did you have a job?
Bro, I had to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, you know. I made a very big decision to be back in Niger, and there's no who's gonna take care of what I want to do if I don't get a job. My parents were damn sure not gonna do that, you know. They're all about learning how to sustain yourself, and also they know the sacrifices that they made to send me to school in the first place. So like, yeah, I got a job. I was working a 9 to 5, and you know, to me, it's like, if I wasn't doing that, then how would I have written the verse on Chardonnay Music if I didn't know that shit first time?
Ah, sorry, hold on. What's
Yeah.
that line from Chardonnay Music? It be like, say this guy, my guy, they chop Chris or chop
Yes.
food
Yes,
because
be like, say
stinks.
chop
Everybody's on the island now
Like,
till
because
it
something
sings.
sings.
Bro, like, where do you write that experience from if you don't live it?
True.
Right.
Facts.
I know what it's like. I know what it's like to go from mainland to island every day, to wake up at 5 a.m. so that you don't hit that serious traffic. So you hit the light one. So you can make it to island on time. And you have to leave at a certain time, or you have to give them till 9:30.
Yeah. Quick
know what
question.
I'm
What were you doing with the 9 to 5? What was your job description at the time?
First job I think I was doing like at my uncle's company was like business development. It was a company that had to do with like oil and gas services. They did training for personnel in oil and gas. So that was the first one. The other job I had, I worked in the quality assurance department of a hospital that, you know, people know, St. Nicholas Hospital. And then, you know, so all the while I was getting more and more drawn into making music all this while. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Okay,
So fast forward a bit, yeah. You meet Don Jazzy. How was that experience like? Given that, like, you know, then like Maven Record wasn't like a traditional rap label, and people were skeptical about that signing. How did that signing go, and what informed your decision to sign to Jazzy?
The decision to sign was at this point, you know, I decided
How did you
to
guys meet,
commit to
first
the
of all?
artist life. What?
And how did you guys meet? How did you have Jazzy meet?
Yeah.
The first time I met Jazzy was in his studio, and I didn't meet. There was already interest in me before I met Jazzy. You know, like I've been hearing a couple of things, and one of my good friends, Deja was on the label. You know, Deja and I had met in America, so that's how we knew each other. Then she came to Nigeria and she got signed, right? And so there was now this interest that, you know, or this rumor that, yo, Jazzy's asking about you, which was crazy to me. You know, I didn't see that coming. You know, but I'm the kind of person that is not easily swayed, or maybe it's because I'm in Nigerian. I'm very skeptical person by nature. You know, so I was like, all right, cool, that's interesting though. But I would like to know why, where this interest is coming from and how it, you know, but I later found out that he had heard me on, he had heard Korean. No, Korean.
Yeah.
He had heard it on radio. He had heard me on radio playing Korean. I came to promote Korean and he had heard me talking on radio. And from there, he was like, who's this guy? I like this guy. He sounds like somebody that will give me wahala, but this guy is very interesting. Do you know what I'm saying? So how I met Jazzy was DJ was like, why don't you just come to the studio with me? You know? And so she invited me around. I walked into the studio with her, and DJ just faded. And then there's Jazzy, there's Tiwa Savage, there was Baby Fresh. I don't remember if Dr. Sid was there. A couple of people were there. I think Bizzle was even there. Like, these are people like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Tiwa Savage is sitting on the couch, Jazzy is sitting on the couch. Bro, like me, I'm a confident guy. I've always been confident. But like, I really didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
I didn't know. So I was just like,
The Dawn.
I'm sure they thought I was arrogant, though. I'm sure they thought I was on arrogant sort of, because when I walked in, I'm like, yo, what's up? What's up? I go, I shake Jazzy's hand. I shake, and you know, everybody around Jazzy calls him, a lot of times they call him boss. So I'm like, what's up? I shake his hand, I shake Tiwa's hand, I shake Baby Fresh's hand, and I just sit down, and I don't talk, you know. But a couple of, you know, maybe like half an hour in, some people crack jokes, they say things I relate with, and I'll say something. But for the most part, I just observe. To me, I think I was even more starstruck by Tiwa internally. I've always been a fan of Tiwa Savage. Seeing her up close and personal like that was really cool for me. But that's how we met.
Okay. Hip-hop conversation. Okay, I can ask a question, then we're going into the hip-hop conversation.
Okay, I think there was this conversation one time about Jazzy not wanting to sign a rapper or something at the time, and like you being like the first like rapper properly to be signed on Mavin. Like how did you actually deal with the pressure that came with it, especially for a label that actually established itself by churning out like pop records, like bangers all the while? Like, were you under any form of pressure at the time, especially when you dropped like Talk About Poe?
That's a very interesting question. But like, a lot of people judge that move from two perspectives. But the dominant perspective was how they felt about Jazzy and Mavin. They weren't even judging it from, you know, just Poe. It was more like Jazzy has made this comment. A comment that, to be honest with you, at the time, you know, I guess I didn't really pay that much attention to a lot of things. So I was not in that hype. I didn't, you know, I probably wasn't even like even on Twitter like that. So I don't even know that whole situation. But I do know that that's what people felt, right? However, my decision had nothing to do with any of those things. I decided to join Mavin at a time where I felt I needed more eyes and I needed more ears. At this point, I dropped Adore And I was just seeing what Adore was doing. I've been an independent artist for this like 2-3 years at this point. I've seen the hustle. I've seen what I have to do with putting my own personal resources into my music. You know, I've written my own bio. At some point in time, I made my own artwork. I know I've seen the hustle and I've learned a couple of things. And I'm like, if I want to stay in this lane, I need to grow. I need to scale up. And the question was, how did I want to scale up? You know, and so to me, the Mavin situation was, I want a platform. I need a platform that will give me eyes and give me ears. I'm interested in the fact that they don't actually have a rapper. I like to be the first to do things. I like to be the person that is the one that did it before everybody else, right? There was other labels also asking me questions. So I analyzed my options. And I also wanted people that were hungry. At that time, Mavin wanted to diversify their sound. Mavin was actively looking for ways to break up the image that people have seen them over the years and change it to something else. So in their conversations with me, I don't know about any other artist, they were telling me about those plans. They were telling me about their global ambitions. And I'm like, look, I'm not joining this label until I play music for Jazzy. Until I sit down in the room and play him my music. So he knows my sound. So that there's no confusion as to the kind of artist that I am. Bro, at that point in time, I had voices. This is 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I had voices. I played voices for Jazzy. I played another song that you guys may hear in life or never hear. It has Mojid on it. It has myself. Sparks produced it. I played that. And I also had Red Lights.
Ladipoe and Mojid.
Jay.
That one no go easy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I had that. I played those songs for him. And one of the first things that Tega said, anybody who knows Mavin also knows Tega. He was like, yo, this is Grammy music. That was the first thing he said. And when he said this is Grammy music, and Jazzy was like, this is music. This is how it should be. And when you have Don Jazzy saying those things, saying that he believes in the core sound, it put me at ease.
Yeah.
Because some of the fears that other people had about me joining, I felt them too. Because I know the artists that have been on Maven, I know the sound that they've cultivated. They genuinely had to be open-minded to bring me on board, and vice versa. I had to be open-minded to go to a place where there's been one sound for how many years. So I mean, I just feel like the two things I really want to say about the Maven deal is, it was the timing for Maven in terms of what they wanted and where they wanted to go. They wanted to be global. They wanted to diversify. And the timing for Poe, who was transitioning from Poe to Ladipoe at that time and wanted to go global himself in his own way and ultimately become the leader of the revival. And he needed a platform on which to do that. That's one thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say
freedom
is
fighter energy.
Bro, trust me. The second thing I want to say is that everybody asks me, will Maven change my sound? And I feel like, just listen. Man Already, Fest, as the first drop. Man Already was the first drop. I dropped Talk About Poe, a rap album on a so-called Afro-pop label. And that album is definitely 100% Poe on it. All the way through. Do you know what I'm saying? And then I've evolved. I give them Jaye. I had Jaye before I dropped Tap. But I waited because I'm like, they need to hear Tap first before they hear Jaye, or else they will not understand. They will get it confused. They will say that because one thing, somebody said he should do this. Nah. So you have to be patient with the audience. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like anybody who asks, has Maven changed your sound? Go and listen to the body of work. Go and listen to the singles. You know?
Because you self no go agree. You self will not even agree if that's what anybody's trying to do. Like Jazzy said, you probably give him wala.
Yeah, yo. I mean, one thing about Jazzy that I think a lot of people don't see is that Jazzy really, really believes in the talent he has around him, and he wants everybody to blow for what they are good at, because he believes as a businessman that is the most sustainable thing. However, and this is something he told me early so that I was not confused, is like you need to find a way to draw people in for them to see what you're really about. So if it is the way that Drake went, you know what I'm saying, with the pop melodies, do that. Whatever it is that you feel it is, go for it. The business plan for me, because it is a business, is mainstream attention, mainstream platform, niche artistry. The artistry will never change. The brand is strong, but I do want the mainstream attention, but I'm going to keep that artistry from the core. It's going to be niche all the way through. That's me.
That's a dope plan.
Yeah. Bro, it's the only way.
Okay,
and everybody wants that.
Yeah.
So hip-hop conversation. So we know already that
the what?
Nigeria is the hip-hop audience in Nigeria is it's never united, even in opinions, even when people do their top 5 list and everything. So all those times where we go on Twitter and you hear that Emma is having a problem with Vector and they're both dropping tracks, we as the fans, we always have our opinions. People just have their formulated opinions even when they hear these tracks. So you, Ladipoe, that is a top 5 in Nigeria, what is this for you? We want to hear now from you, who's a specialist. You're on your Twitter and you hear that Emma has dropped a diss track, and you listen to Emma's track, you listen to Vector's track. You tell us, is that good or is that bad for the culture? These things, when they happen, what does it actually mean?
Is that what?
When they have those hip-hop beefs,
you said you tell us. What did you say after you tell us?
You tell us, is it good or is it bad for the culture when it's happening?
What did you say after you tell us?
Is it good or bad for the culture?
The hip-hop, the conversation at that time, because it's a hip-hop conversation that doesn't happen every time. So at that point where a beef has brought about a hip-hop conversation, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing for the culture?
This is what I feel personally. I feel like the hip hop industry, the rap industry, because I always say I have my own philosophy on the differences between rap and hip hop in Nigeria. But anyways, the hip hop industry, rap industry, whatever everybody wants to call it, is a very small piece of the larger music industry, very tiny. And right now, to me, I don't see it as a very lucrative space. So I do believe that there's a fine line between things that are entertaining and things that become distractions. I'm always very wary about involving myself in things that become distractions because I know that my role within this industry is to grow the space, make it more attractive to young rappers, make it more lucrative for young rappers, and make it a place where people can actually earn money. That is ultimately the goal, because not even just because of the business side, but because to do anything, you deserve to earn something for the things that you love. I'm saying that because I want to set the stage for how I think of this stuff. I feel like a lot of times, the good energy that we have and the good intentions that we have as rappers, as listeners, as critics, is spent on things that do not grow the industry, but instead hold it back. And I feel like there's a crab in a bucket situation, right? However, for MI and Vector, I think personally that these are two people that have established and done a lot for themselves. They can afford to go at each other for as long as they want to go at each other. However, I do think that it to be sharp or to pull a Nas and Jay-Z at 1.2, that would be really what's good for the culture. But my point is, MI has done his thing and created his legacy. What I think the beef is entertaining, but like I said, there's a fine line between that and distraction. And before it crosses that line, I would like to see them pull a Nas and Jay-Z. But let's move that. I've said my part on that. The larger whole situation with rap, focus on what is more important. I can't be drawn into beef because I know that these songs don't make me royalties. I know that. Every young rapper needs to know that. Put out diss tracks from now to whatever, it will trend, it would be done, but that song is not going to get you a booking for a show. So the truth is, we are the one space that is more interested in pulling each other down than building. I'm not saying building each other, building the space up, which also includes collaboration. Bottom line, we ain't making enough money to be shouting at each other. Because what are we shouting over? Is it clouds?
So yeah, you have one of 2020's hits that I really want to know all my babes, all the babes where I started on the singer. Like, how does that finally feel? Like having a single that is top number one, Seth.
That has brought about a challenge, a social media challenge.
I mean, people have been dropping challenges on social media.
I feel like, we have tools. Everybody has tools at your fingertips. And, I'm very proud of that song. I'm as proud of that song as I was of Jai, but it connected with people, and I'm grateful for that. It is just the side effect of writing a good song. Pardon?
You've stolen all our babes with the song.
The story what?
You are stealing our girlfriends with the music.
That's all.
Everybody's singing by your side.
But the thing about it though, I don't think I've stolen the girlfriends. I've reminded the girlfriends that they love their boyfriends. I think that's
You know what annoys me about it? All these years when we're hyping Poe, when we're tweeting Poe bars, nobody's there. It's now all of a sudden all these girls are now side by side with Poe. I'm like, oh, so now you don't want to know who Poe is. Now you're riding on Poe. And for me, it's annoying. We've been riding for him since when I know day. Now that it's romantic, they're now acting as if Poe is my own. It's our own.
Let's fix that statement. The girls are not riding on Poe. Not riding on Poe. There you go. I'm gonna now add another one to the narrative. But like the truth is this. It is important to make music. I think one of the things and that's one of the reasons I coined the phrase lifelines or the word lifelines, is because I enjoy making music that connects with people. So I feel like as much as Know You is one of the most popular songs out right now, it is because it connects with people. People can say the reasons why they like this line. They can say that it reminds them of this. it makes them feel this type of way. It's more than just a song to make you dance and be happy. There's nothing wrong with those songs, but it's an extra gratification to know that is one of the reasons people are connecting to the song. You know what I mean? I mean, the challenge that came with it, it only made sense, you know, because I feel like as an artists that are less talented or not as interested in artistry promote themselves 100 times more than I have been doing. It's important for me to give respect to what God has given me and promote it heavily and aggressively as much as everybody out there, bro. Because the fans that have been riding with me deserve to brag. We deserve to brag.
Looking back at your records that you have, like I'm a huge Ladipoe stan, and I've noticed that collaborations are really important to like your music itself. Voices, Red Light, even the Know You itself. And I feel like in the industry right now, you're one person who actually knows how to like pick the right talent and actually make it work. So like, how do you go about like selecting, like listening to, like picking out the right people to actually create records? Because I feel like the act of collaboration is in itself like something that not a lot of artists actually know how to do. How do you?
I guess first and foremost, I know and respect the power of collaboration. I know what it really means. I feel like collaboration allows you to make like memorable songs. So I pick. I don't know, man. It's hard to say, bro, because I really feel like it's even beyond strategy. It's more like an energy thing. Sometimes it's like an energy thing. It's a timing thing. It's a like I can't wait for you to hear the project I'm working on right now. I went in a different direction with it and talk about Poe. I hope it'll come out this year. That's my plan. I'm planning for it to be out this year. And I collaborated with people, but in a different way from Tap. You know, and I picked them based on, like Simi was based on my respect for her writing. You know, like Joe Boy Bunt, you know, with him, it was based on the fact that before he even dropped his major song, we already had like a mutual respect for one another. So, I mean, I don't know how to explain it, man. I really pick based on energy. I pick based on, I don't know. Let's just say it's a spiritual thing, bro. I'm sorry, I can't give you a proper
that works. That actually works.
Yeah, for real. So, by the way, I gave you a hint on who's on the project, but it's all good.
Joe Boy.
Yeah.
But feel free not to say and use your way of, you know, when doing that one, because I feel like I intentionally chose people that a lot of people won't expect, and you won't expect the kind of music that I make with that person as well.
Like Jaye with Johnny Drill. Never expected Johnny Drill. Jaye with Johnny Drill producing it. Like I had no clue that it was going to be Johnny Drill.
And
can I make a personal request?
If people yes, what's the request?
You and Ghost, I beg, EP.
Me and who?
Ghost. EP, I beg.
Today, I swear, even me, I'm not ready for that. Even me, I'm not ready.
Me and who?
Me and Ghost.
EP, I beg.
Me and Ghost. And you know, if we actually sit down to do that, I think it'll take forever to make. I think it'll take forever. We're both writers. We both take our time. We're both finicky about producers. It will not come out until like 2025.
I will wait.
I got you, man.
All right.
Yeah, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
Yo, peace and love. I appreciate you guys. Sorry it took so long to get
All
on.
love, Ladipoe.